This is a photo I took in Bangkok on my Fuji X100VI. I must say, I quite like it. There are 3 subjects scattered across the frame for your eye to jump around, but really how the first one is framed between the light and shade patches is pretty satisfying. The lady's hat does not overlap with any line, so just make this photo work. But that's just one frame I took during my recent stay in Bangkok. My uncle lives in Thailand and my mum was visiting him, so we jumped on this occasion to have a bit of a family reunion. It's only a 5-hour flight from Japan, much closer than paying a visit to my family in Switzerland, which is harder to do with a 1-year-old baby. Photography was not front and center during this short stay, but I managed to set aside a day to do some photography on my own and make this video. As usual, it will be a mix of hopefully nice looking video clips and commentary over some POV sections to get all the insights from my shooting approach. So if this sounds like a plan, welcome, and please enjoy this day of photography in Bangkok with the Fuji X100VI. I started the day heading to the closest BTS station as my plan was to photograph the Wat Pak Nam and the surrounding area. On the way to the station, I just checked my back and saw the scene. I was now facing the light that was coming nicely at an angle from the left. I thought it could be a nice silhouette shot with someone walking in the foreground, and that's the shot I got. The umbrella makes the character even bigger and more noticeable, which is good, but on the flip side, I am not too happy with the lady further at the back and the pigeon also popping on the right side. There's not as much subject separation as I would have liked, but it's still not too bad. The huge nest of power lines on the right also brings there a lot of character to this first scene. Once I got my ticket, went through the gate and reached the platform, I had to slow down and miss the first train when I saw this beautiful scene. I framed that one horizontally, and I was just careful with the building on the top right corner, avoiding it from overlapping the sign coming from the roof. The light patch on the platform, the 3 benches on the left and the skyline in the back, it's just a nice mix of architecture, geometry and soft warm light. So I jumped on the next train and made my way to Wutakat station, the closest one to my landing point that day. And again, once out of the train and walking on the platform, I had to take a moment and capture this scene. It's full of contrast with the woman in the shadow in the foreground. It seems that pollution is a real challenge Bangkok is facing, but when it comes to taking photos, it can really soften and give texture to the light. If I had one criticism about my composition on this scene, it is the position of the subject. I should have moved a bit more to the right to open the space between the lady and the fence a bit more. She would have ended up more in the center between both sides of the tracks and made the photo a bit more satisfying. So, Wutakat station was the closest I could go with just the BTS, and I must say that its location is a bit weird. Nothing major right outside the station except a big bypass. That said, photographically speaking, it presented me with a very good photo opportunity. I had to go under the bypass to reach the way towards the Wat Pak Nam, and the light was pouring from the gap between the concrete structures. In that little sliver of light, I saw someone walking and grabbed this shot, but as you can see, I was too late by about half a second. That person already walked outside the light, and I waited for a while to see if someone else was coming, but nothing to report from there. Bangkok, and just like Thailand as a whole, is very colorful. Yellow, red and green are the colors that come to my mind the most when I think about Thailand, and you can definitely find a lot of big colorful elements like these when walking the streets. Here the yellow wall was the thing that attracted me, and I wanted someone to walk in front of it almost as a silhouette. 2 persons on one scooter came into the frame from the right at a pretty fast speed, and that's the shots I got. Because of their speed I couldn't get the timing right. On the first frame they are awkwardly cut out on the lower edge, and on the second one they are already too close from the shade coming from the left side. The light also, it was coming from my back, so it's very contrasty and dense, which doesn't work really well. On that next shot, taken at a very slightly different angle, the light and the amount of contrast looks already much better. I could have used another means of transport to get me closer to the Wat Pak Nam, like a taxi or Grab, but I always try to plan my photo days to give room to the unplanned. Also, maybe I should admit that I am a bit scared to ride these very popular moto taxis. Anyway, this strategy proved itself working once again. I randomly stumbled upon this very small market, nothing touristy, filled with only locals selling fruits and vegetables mostly. The best thing is that the street was right in the same axis as the light, giving me so many scenes to walk around. And I just tried my best to capture the interplay of that light, all the colors and the life happening in that narrow street. Amongst the hustle, the noise and the smells, I noticed this cat quietly taking a nap in that little corner of light. He did not wake up, so I had plenty of time to frame my photos both vertically and horizontally. I think on the day I was sure that the vertical looked the best, but it's once I got the photo on the computer that I realized a square crop was the best. I love the light and shadow contrast, the soft texture, and the analogous color palette. Having a bit more of a space between the cat's shadow and the shade on the left would make this one maybe a 4-star shot, but I'm just being picky here. Then I turned around and saw this woman sat at her stall. The vegetables around her, the ones hanging and the one placed in front of her, created a nice frame to place her inside, which I did, and here is the shot. Looking at it now, I feel like she's too much on the left side, not really at the center of that natural frame, but at the same time I really like that the scale on the right is still fully in the frame and not overlapping with the vegetables. Conflicting opinions, but I quite like this photo. By the way, what do you think of the Osmo Nano footage? They added this horizon correction, which corrects less than the horizon balance mode, but it crops much less in the footage. You end up with more field of view, more quality footage, and horizon correction is enough to compensate for a slight tilt when you have the Nano on you with the magnetic pendant. I always shoot in D-Log-M, put the conversion LUT and my own LUT both only at 50% intensity, then I tweak a bit the contrast and exposure in a node before, and the footage looks pretty nice, I think. It's quite unbelievable coming from a camera that is so small. As I reached the end of that market, I was facing yet another scene I really loved. That soft hazy light coming from the back, leading lines on both sides of the frame, and a vanishing point at the center. Pretty simple but very effective. I wanted someone to be in the light to have a nice silhouette, very centered in the photo. I got a first shot, but I really wanted to wait for another person to walk in the frame, which I did. I captured that photo, but in the end I much prefer the first one I got right off the bat. If I knew, I would have moved on much sooner, but hey, still, I got the shot and took a bit more vitamin D along the way. I'm just quickly taking a minute to talk about today's video sponsor, PicDrop. PicDrop is an online platform designed for photographers by photographers where you can share, present and deliver photos in a clean and professional way. You can create beautiful galleries, control exactly who can see or download your images, and the best part is that you can even get feedback directly on the pictures. It's really the perfect feature if you are doing some collaborative work with another creative. It's also super intuitive and very easy to organize a gallery. Basically, if you are used to something like Lightroom, you will get a hang on PicDrop in seconds. You can also upload videos, and last summer I had to capture some B-roll clips of Hiroshima for a documentary, and it was so simple to send over my footage using PicDrop. I filled the gallery with my selects that can be reviewed, flagged, commented on, and of course downloaded by my peer in the US. So whether you're working with clients, collaborators, or just sharing memories from that last trip you went with your friends, PicDrop makes the process fast, organized, and stress-free. I leave a link in the description so you can try it out for 2 months for free. After going through the market, I went back on my path and found yet another yellow wall to photograph. I prefer the amount of contrast and the light in that scene over the one I captured before. But once again, the timing and the placement of the subject were not 100% ideal, as there is this kind of window thing on the wall popping from the head of the subject. Again, a yellow wall, and again, kind of a missed shot, I think. I like the color of this door here, and there is the big building in the background, kind of a interesting scene. Still alive, there's nothing moving, but quite like that. As I kept walking towards my goal, I checked my back as the light was coming from there, and here I love the contrast between the small street, very rustic and old-fashioned, while the tall building in the background looks very geometrical and modern. I was looking to get someone on a scooter in the frame, but I prefer that one with the taxi. It is bigger than someone on a scooter and occupies the space better. It also doesn't get lost in the noise behind too much, and the slight tilt kind of works here, I think. I'm really attracted to this kind of scene where you have some sort of a subject in the foreground, kind of surrounded by some pieces of nature, tree, branches, a bush, and all that, with like a very contrasting, like super tall building in the background. I find that quite interesting. I mean, with my fresh eyes here in Bangkok, because I'm not living here. This one also is quite nice. On the way I also find this, maybe a parking lot of some sort, I'm not too sure. Again, the light was glorious that day, and its warmth is complementing nicely the green tones of the hut and the net attached to the roof. I walked this in quite a lot, trying to find the best angle and distance in relation to the subject. That's the beauty and the fun of working with one single focal length. You move around more, and you're likely to extract more of the potential of a scene sometimes. That said, I'm still not too sure which one I like the most between the photo taken a bit further back. You have more layers and depths leading to the hut, which is the main subject, and that other one taken from closer that looks cleaner. Maybe this one, yeah.
This is also quite cool with the car in the corner here. This kind of, it's more like Chinese, I guess. Here, this building and the big skyscrapers in the background with this soft light coming from the back. Looks pretty nice.
After that, I crossed a bridge and finally got a glimpse on the Wat Phak Nam, literally 2 hours after my first photo. But that's all on purpose, like I said, and I quite like the letterbox here with the power lines in the foreground. That stay in Bangkok and that more intense day of shooting was a good stress test for the Fuji X100VI. I'm talking more about this camera and my experience with it in my previous video, but I like how it makes me experiment. I'm looking at the camera a bit too much, having to change my settings more than what I'm used to on my Sony cameras, but it makes me want to take more photos than usual. Maybe that shot with the pigeon flying is a good example of that, I think. I followed the path, and at the turn of the next corner, here was another big Buddha. I love this surprise effect when you are still lost in narrow streets and finally, all of a sudden, you find yourself in front of a nice vista. There are so many colors that somehow work together. The lines from both sides leading to the Buddha makes for a good flow in this picture, I think. I waited for some time, but I couldn't get someone in the frame to add a bit of a silhouette and fill up the empty space in the foreground, but it doesn't look too bad. And another surprise was that beautiful, shiny, vintage red Volkswagen. I had to include it in my frames in some way, and luckily there were plenty of elements to make it part of a more interesting scene rather than just taking photos of it. I had to play with that crazy looking tree, and I like how they coexist in this shot, but then I did the obvious, lining a composition with the car and the Buddha in the background. It's just a shame that it was still taken from the Buddha's backside, but hey, colors, light and the composition are on point, I think. For some reason, I'm always interested in people walking, and here I noticed this guy fixing the street light. He was nicely framed by the foliage from the tree on the right side. I placed him on the right third, but the left part of the frame ends up a bit empty and useless. So once again, I opted for a square crop, recentering this shot on the action, and I think it works better that way. I first checked the Wat Kunchan, which is that smaller Buddha I have been photographing in last frames. I came closer to the Buddha and I found this spot to make a composition with someone in the foreground. I waited for these two ladies to come in the frame, but in the end they are not really adding anything relevant. They get lost in the other dark things behind them, so I like this horizontal frame much better. It's a bit claustrophobic with very little space between the edges of the frame and the subjects in the photo, but still they are more separated and easier to identify, I think. And now we are circling back to the first shot I showed in this video, still taken in the premises of the Wat Kunchan. I don't want to add too much on it, maybe just emphasis on the timing and placement that I got right. Here are the shots taken only split seconds before and after, and you can see for yourself how much subject separation we are losing. Too much overlapping and less defined edges, so that one is really the one that works. And a whopping 3 hours after my first shot, I finally reached the Wat Phak Nam that I photographed a bit from the ground level before going on top of that pagoda beside it. There was no entrance fee and I could have a nice view of the Buddha, still from the back, but it looks quite good and gives plenty of cool photo opportunities. I noticed this woman with that bright red umbrella. I took this first shot, which I find decent, but there's a lot of distraction with the other woman next to her and the people in the background. Then I thought I could take the shot from behind her, using the umbrella to cover a bit of the noise. At the same time, the other woman went ahead of her, which makes the final shot even cleaner. Pretty graphic and colorful, I like that. As I moved away from Wat Phak Nam to slowly make my way back to the BTS and join family for the remainder of the day, I stumbled upon this. 3 cars nicely lined up in front of these big banana trees, I guess. There's a nice rhythm with the repetition and an interesting contrast between the mechanistic from the cars and the organic from the lush greenery.
Well, that was pretty lucky because I was just composing my shot hoping to get someone on a scooter, just like this. And suddenly like 3 monks appeared and showed up in the frame walking towards me. with their beautiful like orange dress giving that pop of color in the frame. I haven't seen it yet, but I think I will be pretty happy with this one.
A few minutes later, I found another and a last yellow wall for the day. This time around, I think the scene with the pickup truck on the left side really works on its own. There was no need to have anyone in the frame, and it would have been pretty hard since I didn't see anybody coming in or out of the street. The yellow wall is very well with the red painted elements and the red tiles from the building. The sky again was very soft with a nice tint to it that probably comes from pollution, which is not good news really, but in photo it looks quite nice. And finally, I saw these two colorful umbrellas popping out of this shop. I used the crop function in the X100VI to frame a shot at 70mm. I like this function, but when you upload the photo to Lightroom, the crop is not applied. You see the photo at the native 35mm field of view. In some cases, I don't like that because it's hard to remember which shot you took with any of the 50 or 70mm crop, but in this case, it also made me pause and realize that this shot works well at 35mm. And with that, it concludes today's shoot. I hope this was an insightful watch, and see you next time. Bye.